All right, welcome everyone. We are back again for some viewer's choice. Actually, you guys see that I was about to play E5, but I caught myself. No, we're playing the Taimanov. This is the Taimanov Sicilian. Yeah, apologies for the lighting. I don't know what it is. I have the same exact lighting as before, but for whatever reason, now the camera just appears darker. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, it's time to go. Can't be focused on these trifles. We got to be worried about what really matters, the chess. I can't remember for the life of me what we do. I think I remember Queen C7. I studied the Taimanov 2 years ago. I studied it a lot 2 years ago. I thought that that was going to be what is the turn? I can't remember. I thought that that was going to be like the mainstay of this channel. I thought that that was going to be the main opening that I play. We should be covering Knight B5. Knight B5 is very, very annoying. From what I remember, Bishop B4 is good. Man, I really don't know. I gotta review the theory. Regardless, though, it's time to go. You know what I mean? Gotta just keep it moving, keep it going. Playing aggressive chess here in the birdhouse. Yeah, the idea of this move is very interesting. We want to take here and ruin their structure. That would be trading off a very important bishop, though, so we'll have to do so carefully. It's probably best to wait to do this until after I've castled so that then he can't bring a bishop in here to slice through. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. I'm not even sure if what I did was correct. Maybe what I did is not correct. There are other lines in this variation where I think you take and then you play Queen C5, or even you play Bishop C5, but you have to protect G7 first, so you play Knight F6. Yeah, okay, Knight E2. We'll play. I really don't know. I think Knight E2 is a bit weak. I like the idea of H5, man. Let's just go for it. Let's go for all the glory. I want to push H4. If he plays H4, now I could play Knight F6, Knight G4. Not to mention if he plays H4, Knight E5 is a bit stronger now because then F4, Knight G4 gets to an outpost. Yeah, this looks good now. Knight F6. I'm pleased with this position. It's time to go. All right, there, let's play Bishop D6. Actually, wait, where's the bishop going to go? Let's put the bishop on C5, aim at F2. D6 didn't have much to do. If he plays bishop F4, we have two ideas. We could play Knight E5, or we could play E5. E5 is considered positionally bad because it weakens D5, but sometimes you can wing it. In the words of the Birdmaster. Man, I just had a huge stack of pancakes, so I'm a little tired, truth be told. Bossman has me working around the clock, though. I gotta record the video. Yeah, it's been a few days since the last video. I'm gonna try to record every day, but I don't know. I think I want to record hour-long videos, so I'm thinking I'll have a minimum of 3 hour-long videos every week. And yeah, I mean, it's a struggle, man. I feel like Bozo with them plates, right? I feel like I'm just juggling all these different plates. I got so many different projects going on, guys. They're like literally 50 projects going on in my life. Um, and like slowly but surely, one by one, I maybe finish one project or one important part of the project, like every week. So it is slowly whittling down to a manageable number. There is going to be a time, I do promise you guys, there is going to be a golden age of the channel when I won't have to record these videos in flickering lights. Okay, honestly, this position is very interesting, though. Something I really love about the Taimanov is that you get this fantastic control of the dark squares here. Let's bring a bishop over here, right? Is he going to be able to undermine this knight here? Like, if he was able to force my knight out, then I do need to be very careful about e5, but I don't see how he would do it. So let's play b5. I guess he could play a4. These look very... Yeah, these look very disharmonious. I'm confident in this position. Bishop b7, shooting through. There's starting to be a lot of pressure. I think the plan long term here, I should get my king out of the way and then put my rooks on the c file. C file, maybe also the d file. I'm not sure if I should be playing for d5, though. It seems like his pieces are very tied down to this pawn here. It wouldn't make sense for me to actually release the tension by playing d5 and allowing him to trade. Yeah, man, I have so many things going on. But yeah, it's honestly it's gonna be great. I think it's like another 6 months of suffering pretty much for me. But once that period of 6 months is done, things are gonna be fantastic. Like yeah, this channel is gonna be in really fantastic shape. The E4 E5 course will have come out. I'll be neck deep in the Dutch course. Um, and yeah, slowly but surely, yeah, this channel will be well on its way. I really like knight g4 here. Look at that, just attacking f2. Another cool idea is that I wanted to play d6 in some positions, but I think actually f6 is a nicer way to reinforce the knight. There. How is he holding on here? I guess he's going to play f3. Shouldn't we play... Oh, well, I was going to say queen c4, this knight hangs, but look at that. My knight is defended now. Nice. That's the magic of chess. All right, let's play queen c4 here, attacking these two. This looks fantastic. Man looks like he's in definite trouble. I guess he's going to try queen d2. We take, he plays f3. That's tricky. That's really tricky. Am I worse there? We have a lot of ideas in that position. That is a very, very tricky position. Yeah, maybe I don't have anything there. That's bananas. If queen d2... Well, yeah, so I need to have a plan against f3. f3 could be a really big problem. We could try f5. Man, this is a wild Taimanov. This is what you guys paid for. Wild Taimanov action with the Sicilian. F5 takes... F5 looks really interesting. This is a classic idea when you have your bishops pointed through here. F5, F3, takes. I play E3. No, he takes with the knight. I don't have anything there. I really want to play F6, but then F3, knight H6. That does not look like any fun. Maybe could we play D5? Now D5 makes more sense, actually, because his bishop, this light-squared bishop has a bounty on its head. If I get rid of the light-squared bishop, his light squares are going to be far too weak. I think this is the right approach. D5, F3. Well, wait, what am I going to do there? Can we take? No, then he just plays back. I don't think I have anything there. Then I have rook D8. Yeah, we play rook D8. We're hitting the queen. Queen has to go back to E1 to keep E2 protected. That looks like a very interesting position. I'm not sold on it, though. Yeah, this is super weird. Dude, another idea. I was going to say maybe G5 could work in some scenarios. Like, what about F6, F3, G5? But then he could just take, and that's getting way too unclear. This position is bonkers. Well, wait, what about takes F3? We move our bishop back. He takes, I take. I have traded off his best bishop. I hit him with a check. He goes king H2. Then I check here. That position looks at least equal. How many pawns do I have there? I only have 2 pawns there? Yeah, man, this position looks bananas. Dude, I really have no idea. Bishop takes F3, bishop D5. F takes. Yeah, that's so tricky. I don't see how it can work, though. What is happening? Okay, so D5, F3. Let's look at that again. I feel like this is definitely the key moment. This is like the play of the game, if this were a hockey game. We got to figure this out. All right, let's look at this again. Bishop takes F3, bishop D5, takes, queen E4. Still got the broken mouse. Queen E4. King H3 is just a mistake. I would just take on G4 with check. He has to play King H2 there. If I take, then here. I could play Queen F5, I think, with perpetual, but then he's just going to play King G2. I don't necessarily have anything there. I have no idea what to do. I literally have no idea what to do. I also got this frisky move. Bishop. Okay, what is with this mouse, man? I really want to play F6, but F3, knight H6? That position looks really weird. I could also move this knight out of the way. Actually, yeah. Wait, why don't I... We play knight G6, bishop D6. That looks very nice for him, but then we take... I'm not sure I have anything there. I'm going to play knight G6 anyway. I just want to be able to retreat this knight to E5 if possible. I could see that was underwhelming. I was trying to find a tactic. I don't think there were any. Man plays F3. We could play knight E5, knight E3. Can't I just take? Yeah, what is he doing? Man just gave away the entire position. Now I take here. There's no fork. My knight's not on G4. It's time to go. Yeah, this looks completely winning. I don't know what that knight E3 move was about. Just got lost in the sauce there. I was so focused. And I was taking my time, and then he just had to make a move, and I assume he just forgot what was going on. Suffice to say, once I win this pawn, it should be completely winning. He's going to have weaknesses in the light scores over here. He's also going to have a weak c-pawn. Honestly, I'm quite bored with Joinville. Joinville is okay. It's a fine, like, starter city. I don't even know what you would call it. It's definitely a decent place. Um, it's more on like the small town side, but the fact is it's very safe and I like Portuguese, so that's why I chose to live here. Let's start by trading this. Um, let's go for a check. Check and protect. Yeah, this poses some more awkward questions for him, right? If he moves the king, well, now knight e5 looks extremely good. This should be the end of the game because knight d4 I can take with the bishop. He's going to have to play knight g1. Oh, but then I check here and queen h1. Nice. Yeah, those of you who've been to Japan, let me know in the comments what should I be looking out for? I was looking into apartments and I think Osaka is actually the best place for me to go. It seems like it is affordable apartments, a very nice city vibe. Apparently the people are friendlier than in Tokyo. Nice, we got the win. Yeah, if he had played king h3, I would just have this checkmate here. All right. Back again, we're playing aggressive chess, so we're going with e4. I have to remind myself I'm not supposed to play f4 in this video. I should buy some post-its. I need to put a post-it up on this monitor just to tell me that you're not supposed to be playing f4 this video. Because my muscle memory, my hand keeps reaching for this pawn. All right, we're playing knight f3 here. We're going for all the marbles. I'm going to play d4, open Sicilian. Super aggressive chess. Are we going to get a Taimanov? You got to be kidding me. We're getting a Taimanov as white. Well, what's it going to be? Technically, they haven't gone for a Taimanov yet. All right, now they have gone for a Taimanov. I can't remember what to play against the Taimanov. Dude, what are the moves? Okay, yeah, we're going to go for the most aggressive variation against the Taimanov. I think it's knight c3, bishop e3. How does it go? There's a line that Sathuraman recommends in his course. Well, d5, that's supposed to be weird. I've never seen d5 before. We'll just take. And this structure looks weird. Maybe I wasn't supposed to take there. I don't know. Like, I definitely could have maybe just taken and given him the Isolani and been slightly better. That was probably the more positional approach. But this is aggressive chess in the birdhouse. I'm playing for checkmate. Don't you forget. We're going to castle here, play e5. So these positions are very weird, actually. I just said we're going to play e5. You need to be careful about when you play e5. It's very good to keep this tension around. Because as long as you keep this tension around, they don't want to play c5 that soon. Once you play e5, their knight's going to move back, and then they're going to start badgering your pieces with c5, c4, and d5, d4. Yeah, what are we doing here? Let's play queen f3. I don't know where to put my pieces. Another idea in these positions is to play b3, knight a4, c4. I really don't know. I really don't know, guys. All I know is that it's time to go. What is this position? Maybe I just got a bad position here. Here I am thinking that I had a good position. I'm going to play queen e2. We're setting up some ideas. Queen is slightly better. Maybe I have rook d1 here. I was also thinking I could play f4. e5, knight d7, f4. That tends to not do much, though. Yeah, I really don't know. I really wish I studied these positions more. Because if we play f4 immediately, they trade everything, and our pawn looks really silly on f4 then. We are winning a pawn, though, there, probably. I still think it's better to play e5 first. Really, really complicated stuff coming up. Yeah, very weird here. I'm gonna play f4. Maybe this is a mistake. I remember that in some positions, strategically speaking, you're not supposed to go for this. I can't remember if this is one of those positions, though. In others, this is fine. He could play knight c5 to get rid of our bishop, but then what I'm going for, what I'm banking on, is that I'll take back with the c pawn, play bishop e3, and focus on these weaknesses on the c file. All right, that's what he's going for. That's what bro is up to. All right, I want to play bishop e3, but then d4. I can't really figure out a constructive move to play here. Yeah, this is very weird. I want to play bishop e3 because takes, that would make sense, but I can't think of anything constructive to play right here. Could we play f5? No, then he just takes. Yeah, this looks... I don't know what I did here. I think I might have messed this up, guys. I think it might be time to go. I'm going to play rook f3. We could also think about taking here, actually. Takes, queen h5, king g8, rook f3. No, I think that's going to be too slow. He'll play f6 there. Let's play rook f3 set up. If he takes, we'll take with the pawn. And then I can start thinking about bishop e3, knight a4, just powering down on the c-pawn. I don't think this was an opening success, though. I think I definitely misplayed whatever I was supposed to. What can I say, guys? I'm not perfect. Even the Birdmaster makes mistakes. All right, bishop e3, d4. Yeah, that's still not good. I don't know why I keep on looking at that. Should we play knight a4? Yeah, let's play knight a4. If I'm given time to really drill into the score, I think we're going to be doing great. Like if he gives me 2 moves to play bishop e3 and rook c1, we're going to be doing fantastic. c5, yeah, that's a problem. We'll play b3 here, stabilize the knight, also fortify against this push. This still looks like it should be fine. It's just getting frisky. You know what I mean? It's getting a little frisky in the Dragon's Den. The nice thing about this bishop coming out here is now I might be able to break on f5 at some point. It's no longer guarding this. I don't know what it is about the air here. Yeah, just really lately, you guys can see to my eyes, I'm suffering some allergies. Boy's suffering out here. Bird Boy is suffering in the Dragon's Den. Man, yeah, honestly, it's interesting. Like right now, I'm in a very weird period of my life. I do have all these projects going on, but the 2 biggest ones, the E4, E5 ones, are just like in purgatory pretty much. I'm just waiting for Chessable to do the beta tests and to give me the green light to record the film. All right, G6, I don't know what that's about. We should be provoking them into playing D4, I think, because then this pawn is going to be weak. Actually, wait, let's play bishop A3. I'm thinking bishop E3, D4. That's going to actually be double-edged because his bishop is going to shine bright like a diamond here. That's not going to be as simple as I had expected. Let's play bishop A3. Aiming down here. Also, if he ever plays C4, I'd be happy to trade the bishops. I think that would also be fine. Yeah, this position looks simple enough. All right, queen C7. Just keep loading up. Rook C1. Yeah, this turned out very favorably for me. I think he messed up. Back here, he should have probably just thrown the pawn to C4 and like takes, and then he has ideas of queen D4 check. Yeah, he needed to open up diagonals because now he's stuck here. And if he ever plays C4, I'll at least trade, and then I could even play D4 from there when my queen has a pin and my knight is getting into C5. That'd be very interesting. Yeah, this is all very complicated. Definitely frisky business of the highest order. C4, all right. He's going for it. Let's take. He takes. Okay, if we take here, queen A3, that is not going to be fun. Yeah, let's take... Oh, wait. Do we take this way? What about if I play D4? I wanted to play D4, but then queen A3 looks a little bit frisky. Queen A3. Yeah, that looks super frisky. Dude, I really don't know. D4, queen A3, we could play, I don't know, like rook B1 there. Very, very complicated stuff. Man, I really have no idea. We take. If we ever go for like all these takes, like takes, then his bishop is going to come over here and be fantastic. So I think I have to play D4. Just to keep this pawn on the board at the very least. All right, there. What is he doing? Should we play knight C5 here? Yeah, knight C5 looks good. I guess he's going to sacrifice. Like, that's the only thing this move could be preparing. If he does anything else, like bishop B5, I'll just play B4 and cement my knight in here. I think he's going to take, but then I would just take back, play queen F2, try to trade the queens, try to usurp control of the dark squares. I think I would just be winning there. Yeah, I don't think this is good. Let the record show I don't approve of what he's doing right here. All right, let's play queen f2. Just fighting for control of the dark squares. d4, I can take bishop takes, and I got a really sassy move. I got rook c3 there. And if takes, I'll just take the queen, and that should just be the end of the game. It should definitely be time to go. He could play queen a3 here. I would play rook c2, takes, rook takes. Okay, there. We talked about this, though. I'm taken. I'm going straight to the bank. Maybe he'll play bishop takes expecting me to play queen c2 and then he has d3 check, but no, I'm just going to play rook c3 there. That's going to be over. Guess he has to play bishop b7. There. We need to just hunt down this pawn. If we hunt down this pawn, he has nothing left that's good about his position. Let's play rook d3. I guess he does have one more thing that's good about his position. That bishop is always going to be pretty strong. It shouldn't be enough to compensate, though, for a full exchange. Yeah, man, I've been studying Japanese, though, getting ready for this trip. It's a very, very interesting language. Bizarre language. In a good way, though, by the way. Whenever I say bizarre, it generally is, it's meant in an endearing way. It's not meant in a disdainful fashion. All right, let's play rook d1 here. I'm just going to hunt down the pawn. At the end of the day, this is not a dark squared bishop. He's not going to be able to defend the pawn enough. Just going to collect the pawn, you know what I mean? It's time to go. There. All right, let's just take. Yeah, he better take here. He's going to take. If we take back this way, he'll trade everything and take on a2, and he has some drawing chances there. Even then, that should be a lost endgame, though. There, I'd love to take here. Takes, 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 e takes. No, why would I ever do that? Oh, look at this cool move, guys. Look at y'all ready for a sassy move. I was going to play f5. Because if g takes, we have rook g4 check. And then we're going to win the queen. But he takes here. I thought that we'd have rook takes d5 there. Wait, okay, no, I think that position is winning. f5 takes, I play king h1. And in that position, I'm just going to play queen d2 next to triple down. Yeah, he has no way to defend in time. I'm playing f5. That's cool stuff. Look at that, though. E takes, I can't play queen d2 just yet because my rook would be pinned there. He could get his bishop out of the way then. Instead, we're going to play king h1. Honestly, I'm not 100% certain. E takes, look at this. King h1, then he could move his rook out of the way because if I take, I'm losing my queen. Man, I got to fix this mouse. I'm sorry about this, guys. It's the $2 mouse I bought in China. Please, please forgive me. Anyway, though, e takes, I think I found the move. E takes, we'll just play rook d2. And if he trades queens, that's a completely winning position because of the pin. I guess he'll have to play queen c6. There. No, that's not going to work, pal. I'm just playing f6 here now. Now I have ideas of queen h6 at all times. This position just looks hopeless now. And I also have back rank mate ideas. Once my pawn gets here, there is no hope for his position. Mark my words, it's time to go. All right, he wants to put the rook on b2. Let's play queen d2 to ih6 in a healthy way. Also have ideas of rook c1 now. This looks very good. Just keeping an eye on rook b2. That's really his only active idea here. I guess he'll play queen f8. Because if he waits and lets me play queen h6, then he's going to have to trade queens with queen f8. Yeah, this looks pretty hopeless. I'm thinking back here, I could have probably just traded and gone to that endgame up a pawn because his king would have so many back rank issues and my king would be so much more active. That should be a winning rook endgame when you have the activity plus the extra pawn. All right, rook d8. Interesting. We play queen h6. Queen h6 is one way to handle it. Yeah, let's play queen h6 here. Just force the queens off. This is going to make things a lot simpler. Look at this, guys. I really like this move first. We're going to play rook h4. I want to get this pawn to move to h5. Once it moves to h5, okay, he's going there. I don't think that's good. My plan was once it moves to h5, my king is going to have a much easier walk-in because he'll never be able to play h6. King g8, well, that's also good for me, though. We'll just play rook a4 here. Just bouncing the rook around the board. Rook d7. And here, rook c1. Which should we aim for? Light square or dark square? Let's aim for a dark square. Aiming for b8. So this is interesting. I think he's going to try to get his king out of the way this way. We could definitely just check and play rook e8. That would be enough with rook e7, but I like g4 more. I just want to lock his king in a cage with... Okay, yeah. His king's not getting out. We'll play rook b8 here. There's no way he's going to survive this now. He's going to get a bunch of checks. I don't really think they do anything. Whenever the time comes, I'll have rook f8 takes or rook takes a7. Well, no, there, then I have rook c4. This has to be over. Yeah, this is definitely over. It's time to go. All right, we're playing this guy again. We definitely played this guy before. BTL Blues. Knight c3? Oh. Why would he do this? Please play d4. Okay, yeah. Please go back into normal open Sicilian. No one clicked on this video to watch a boring Knight c3 closed Sicilian. We want the open Sicilian. The people have spoken, and it's time to go. Okay. Yeah, we should stop Knight b5 still. Knight b5 is always super annoying in the Taimanov. Let's play a6. Very, very weird position here. h3. I like bishop d6 a lot. You know what? We're going to go for all the marbles. I think normally you're probably not supposed to play this way, but rook g8, I just want to fight for all the dark squares. Man's going to castle here. I'm going to play g5 and then maybe g4. And most importantly, there. Take the knight. I dare you. I'm happy for that. All right, there. That's what he's doing. But we'll play bishop d6 here. Man's bishop is not getting to g3. I'm threatening to win a pawn with g5 now. The bishop's already in the hot seat. Hot pocket's in the oven. And the bishop's in the hot seat. Yeah, this looks very good. Look at this. The structure looks very weird here, but I feel like already we might be able to sacrifice here, right? Because takes, queen takes. That position should be like king f1 check, king e2, we have rook g2, king e1, rook g2. Dude, that position looks completely winning. It's still a little unclear though. Yeah, that position is still a little unclear. I really don't know. Is there anything better than that? Rook takes isn't nearly as strong because after takes, bishop takes, he can just put his king on e2. Yeah, dude, what is going on here? I think bishop takes g3 makes sense. Let's go for it. Y'all clicked on the video for aggressive chess, and y'all are getting what you paid for. Did you pay anything? No. This is a free YouTube video. But in theory, you got what you clicked for. I'm realizing now, actually, look at this. King e2, I also have queen g2. Nah, you're not getting out. Don't even joke about that, pal. Come back into the sunglass hut. All right, here, man, I have a lot of moves here. Rook g2 makes sense. If rook f1, queen h4 just ends the game. Rook g2, I think he has to play knight e2 there. I'll play queen h4, king d2, queen g5, king e1, and then knight e5. I guess the only thing left to look at is he might be able to bring his king to c3 there. Yeah, this is tricky stuff. Definitely frisky business of the highest order. Knight e5 also looks extremely strong. Knight e5, knight e2, queen e3, knight f3 is going to end it. Dude, I don't know. Both look good. Like knight e5, queen e2, knight f3, king d1. No, actually, he's getting out there. We should be a little more careful about that. Let's play rook g2 here. Knight e2. All right, I want to check. He's going to have to run around with his king. Is he going this way? That's a courageous fellow if he goes that way. I think he has to, though. If he plays king e1, I'm going to play knight e5. That's definitely not going to be good to leave his king here. I think his king has to go to c3, but then I'm going to play b5. Yeah, what is his plan here? I'm threatening to checkmate with b4 and then queen b5. Dude is running out of squares. Of course, I could have checked on e5 to keep his king moving around, but he would just play king d2 there. I don't think I had anything. There? Queen c5 should just end it. We could also take. Well, so look at this. Queen c5, king d2, I take on d4. I'm completely winning there, but he is getting out. The idea there is, of course, a queen c5, king b3, I have mate. What about if takes? Takes, check. King b3, I take. That should also be completely over, but he plays a3. I'm not checkmating either. All right, we're going to go for it this way. This is over, though. He's going to have to run back this way. I'm already winning the piece back. I didn't even look at this. Did b4 do anything? Look at that. b4, king c4, check here, rook b8, king a4. That also probably worked. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the game, though. All right, king d2. We're taking here. We're grabbing the piece. There. I think we could just take here, right? Takes, queen takes c2. His king's continuing to run around the board. Somehow or another, it's holding on. Yeah, where's the win here, though? Another idea is rook f2. That's really cheesy. Look at that. Takes, I have knight b3, but then he plays king b1 and he defends. Very, very weird stuff here. Okay, let's look at this. Takes, queen takes c2. Sorry, no, not that. Takes, yeah, bishop takes, queen takes c2, king e3. Dude, what is going on here? What is going on in this position? This is bizarre stuff. Man, I really have no idea. Takes, queen takes c2, king e3, queen takes b2. I have so many pawns there. That has to be completely winning. Wait, why am I always complicating? Why am I always overcomplicating these things? Just check, king d1, just trade, and his king is still in the way of everything. That's going to be an easy win. Here I am, always tripping myself up for no reason, going for these really outlandish variations when there was no need. Just had to have faith in the position and trust that everything's going to work out. All right, there. b4 takes. Dude, b4 is a wild move. He really wants to run into the wilderness with this one. We take here, bishop takes. We throw in a check. They go bishop d3. We go check. They go king b3 and then rook g3. That looks over. Where is the win here, man? All right, yeah, let's go for that. All right, I'll go with check. All right, and we're going to go with check. And yeah, let's look at this. Rook g3 here. Pinning through, threatening queen c4. I guess he's going to have to play c3. And, all right, nice. We got the check. Yeah, this is over. Perfect. King a3, queen a4 is checkmate. Yeah, this was a close one. And by close one, I mean I was completely winning, but it was still tricky. Very interesting Taimanov game, though. Made me remember why I like the Taimanov so much. I think this is my all-time rapid rating peak. So it's good news for the channel. And good news for the GM Raven show. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired. You know, I noticed that I start out these videos always like speaking in a certain volume, and then as the video progresses, it just gets a little lighter. As I'm just starting to lose energy and lose focus and lose my will to win. I gotta figure out what's going on with this camera, though. It looks a little out of focus. Definitely not the highest quality film for y'all. All right, man, took on d3. So this has been the tall variation, by the way. I wasn't even talking about it, but yeah, we play h4, trying to chase them out. They're going to play h5, and then we play bishop d3. We'll take with the queen. These positions are super weird. These positions are very interesting. I like them a lot, though. Very, very cool stuff. We could play knight f3, knight g5, also maybe bishop g5. By including these two moves on the board, we're going to have a really nice outpost on g5 to place our pieces, because in almost all positions, f6 is not going to work for them. This is some good chess. Yeah, this is a very interesting variation, honestly. It looks extremely aggressively. It looks outwardly aggressive, but there are a lot of positional ideas behind it. And a lot of the time, it ends up being a game of maneuvering if black plays it correctly. Very, very tricky stuff, for sure. And yeah, it's time to go. I guess this will be the last game. So yeah, here we play knight d2. We want to be able to meet queen a6 with c4. I think that's it. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, okay. No, well, this is okay. This is fine. We still play knight f3 here. But what I remember, yeah, now I remember it. You can also... No, sorry, knight d2 is completely fine. If they play queen a6, yeah, back in this position, if they play queen a6, you play e6. That's the theory. All right, knight h6 here. Let's castle. Just get out the way. Knight f5. What are we going to do here? From what I remember, we want to bring the knight over to g3 to trade this knight off. So let's play rook d1. It looks slightly more accurate than rook e1. I think rook d1 protects the queen in some scenarios. Like there's some positions where they play queen a6 and they want to be pinning our c-pawn here. And if our queen is defended, it's not going to matter. Yeah, I really got to study this theory though. This is not a good look for the channel. There. Okay, so if we play knight f1, takes, bishop takes. Knight f1 takes, bishop takes. I'm not sure I have anything there. Yeah, this is really, really tricky stuff. I'm going to play knight b3 here. Maybe I mismanaged this. The idea of knight b3 is I'm just going to play bishop g5 to mitigate this damage. Another way you can deal with this is by playing g3, but then our knight f1, knight g3 idea doesn't work any longer. There. All right, let's play bishop g5 here. This is going to get very weird. This is going to go to an endgame. This is definitely not what I think people who clicked on aggressive chess in the poll were expecting. So wait, which way should we take? Let's take this way. That's going to lead to a very weird structure. We might have some pressure down the c-file. Very, very weird position on our hands. All right, that's what he's going for. Let's play knight a5. Attack this pawn, attack this one. I probably should make this trade at some point. There. Yeah, if he plays bishop e4, that's going to be annoying. Let's play a3. Just making incremental improvements. This knight is super annoying, though. I need to trade this knight off at some point. This knight is fantastic here. It ties my knight down to these weaknesses. How I'm actually going to deal with that, I don't know. But I think at the moment I have to still be equal. Because the rest of his pieces are really suffering here. And I have a good pressure on these two. He can't really push anything on the queen side. Let's take here. I'm going to play bishop f4 next. I'm not sure about that. I guess I'm left with these. These pawns are a little weak, definitely, though. I don't know what he's thinking about it. He should be taking with the g-pawn. Otherwise, e5 is going to become way too weak. What is he thinking about? Bishop takes, I play bishop f4. That's no good. All right, well, yeah, this is not going to be good. I guess he thought he was getting pressure on d4, but I don't even care about that. I'm trying to get the rook. You know what I mean? I'm in this for the mango and nothing else. Give me the mango. Yeah, if he moves his rook, I'm going to take here, and then I'm also going to have pressure on this one. That has to be fine for me. Knight takes h4. Interesting. All right, let's take here first. He's going to take this. And then, okay, he's going to grab a second pawn here. That's his idea. If I play g3, then he could take and ruin my structure. I'm just going to take here. It's going to be a little bit complicated, but I think everything's going to be all right. Damn, he's getting 3 pawns, though, or at least 2 pawns. This is very, very tricky now. He should take here with check. If I play king f1, he can take again. I'm going to move my king here. He takes that way. We have to defend this pawn now. I'm going to play rook f1 next. Very weird position here. I would assume it's still equal, though, because he actually has some weaknesses here. Not c6, what am I talking about? But these could be weak. Yeah, this is going to be very weird. Let's play rook f1 here. Knight g4, I'm going to play rook c2, just kicking him out. Bishop e3, I could play rook e2 or rook f3. All right, we're going to play rook e2 next. Yeah, this looks fantastic. I'm starting to target e6. I don't think he has anything here. In general, I'd be happy to see him move more and more of his pawns onto dark scores because that would mean his light scores are getting very weak here. We'll play rook e2. Attack this pawn. I'm going to throw knight to c5 next. What are we doing here? So knight a5, rook e7. He's sort of holding on to everything there. What about knight c? Yeah, let's play knight c5 here. Get him to give away his bishop. That's crazy. I didn't know that. X flips the board around. Here I was just misclicking on this broken keyboard, and I discovered that. That's a helpful hint for y'all. X flips the keyboard around. Or X flips the board around, not the keyboard. To flip the keyboard around, you have to physically flip it over. All right, what's going on here? This is bizarre. We need to create more weaknesses for our rooks to target. I'm going to just start shoving my pawns forward. We need to create some type of pass pawn here. I also should figure out a way to engage the king. I don't really see a way to yet. At some point, I would like to bring my king in this way. It's going to take a very long time, though. I would still assume that this is even, though. My rooks have a lot of potential. When your rooks have a lot of potential, normally the game is still even. His time is also ticking down. You know, tick-tock. It's time to go. Okay, well, rook f5, e4 we take, knight takes. I'll play king h2 there. You know, the board is opening there. I'm happy with that. Yeah, let's play rook f5 here. And it's going to try e4. We could also play d4, but no, I think it makes a lot more sense to take. We want to open the board up. All right. Takes, yeah, man is playing for this trick. Let's play king h2 here. No tricks. Where are we going to go here? Let's play rook f3. Keep his king locked out. Dude, this is a very tricky position. Yeah, I'm just going to continue advancing here. We need to create some weaknesses. He's sort of at a standstill. If he ever advances this farther, he's going to be weakening some squares. Yeah, let's play a4 here. a5, I'll take. He could play there. Oh, he has that. I didn't realize he had that, though. We play rook b3. He takes on c5. Yeah, dude, that's pretty tricky, actually. Wait, what about this? Yeah, rook b2, knight takes c5, and then rook c3, and I'm going to take on b7 next. That's the way to do it. Targeting this pawn here. Going for all the marbles. I got 3 weak pawns here, but the board is opening up. My rooks have plenty of targets now. Oh, he takes on a5. Okay, he takes on... Yeah, that could have gone way worse. Now, all of a sudden, I think I'm winning. Yeah, I think this should be completely winning. Because I'm going to put my rook here. I'm going to park my rooks against this. Can't really move his knight just yet. If he plays d4, I could just take, and I'm hitting the knight, so his rook is still tied to it. All right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this first. Knight d2. This looks like a disaster. Look at this. I guess he's going to play knight a4 here. Yeah, we got to be a little bit more careful. All right, let's go back once. What if I play rook c2? Rook c2, knight a4, rook a2 wins. I'm wondering, rook c2, rook a2, well then rook d2 wins. Rook c2, he has to play rook b5. Yeah, this looks unbelievably tricky. Let's say, I'm wondering, like, yeah, what is he going to do? This position looks so hard to manage. Rook c2, rook b5, rook d1. No, then he gets out with knight a4. This is very tricky. But yeah, the fact that his knight is disconnected and the fact that he has a weakness here, I should be completely winning. Yeah, I think the best way to handle this is just to make a waiting move, because he can't do almost anything here. If he plays rook g5, then I can play rook b6 and get the knight. So this asks him a really serious question of what he's doing. If he plays king g5, then we play rook d6, because he doesn't have rook g5 any longer. Just at the moment, with how everything is, rook a4. All right, but now can't I play rook d6? Rook d6, rook g4. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, we have rook d6 here? That makes sense. Could also play rook d2, knight c4. No, that doesn't do anything then. Rook d6, rook g4. What do I have there? Yeah, dude, this is a very weird position here. We could also think about taking. We could also think about taking, and then playing king g3. He plays knight b2, king f4, knight d3, king e4, knight e1, g3. I think I'm winning there, but that's very complicated. Rook d6, knight c4, takes. What is going on here? No, rook d6, he's going to play rook g4. Why do I keep on forgetting that? Yeah, I don't know. I'll play rook d6 here. I don't really know. Maybe it's time to go. Knight c4, I think I'm going to play rook e6 and just slowly improve my rooks. Because if he plays rook a3 check, I can go back. Oh, then he plays knight e3. Maybe I don't have anything there. Yeah, this is certainly tricky business. Knight c4. Okay, I'll play rook e6 here. If he checks, then I play g3. Yeah, definitely frisky, but if he moves the knight, then I get rook d6. Yeah, come to think of it, I think I'm just winning here, right? Rook c3, I have rook c6. Rook a4, I have rook e4. Knight e3, we're going to play rook d6. We're going to take on g6. That should be winning. Definitely. All right, nice. Perfect. Breaking through. This is the Raven Sturt story about how one boy strove for greatness with birds opening. There. Did he have that this whole time? Wait, can we play king g4 here? Look at that. King g4 is a saucy move, man. King g4 is super saucy. King g4 takes, I take here, that's winning. King g4, rook takes, I take here, that's winning. Takes there, yep. King g4, last idea is knight takes g3. Then I take on h4. He plays knight e4. I think I'm winning there. I'm going to go for it. I think I have to at this point. The pawns are obviously coming off the board. Man doesn't have a choice. He's going to have to take here. Takes, we take. He's going to play knight e4. He could also play knight f5. Then I play king g5, though. Yeah, let's take this way. If he plays knight e4, we'll just throw in 2 checks. Then I'm going to bring my rooks over here. I think, dude, that is a wild position. But the fact that I have 2 rooks to a rook and knight means I'm going to have a lot of mating tricks with my rooks working harmoniously to get the job done. Wild position here at the moment. There. All right, I'm playing king g5. We don't want to allow him any more checks. This is crazy stuff. Yeah, rook g3 takes is going to be winning. I guess he's going to play knight g7 here. Because knight e7, I have rook f7. Knight g7, rook f7, he checks here, and I'm not winning. Yeah, we're going to check here. Let's get the rook far away. He gets check here. That's about it, though. Let's play king f4, not king h4, blunder knight f5. This should be completely winning. Not sure if I mentioned it, guys, but yeah, this because the knight is in a really terrible spot here. It's known that the knight is in like the worst location possible when it's on knight 2 against the rooks. Like now, even if we were to trade rooks, I think this would be winning because their knight. This is like a very famous situation. Let's play king e5 here. Just wait him out. Check. Oh, king f6 here. Wait, king f6, yeah, check. Okay, I'm actually... Is that position winning or not? Yeah, okay, let's go... Yeah, where am I going to go here? Let's go back. Don't want to blunder knight f5. We're going to go back this way. Oh, well, now I should be winning, right? Rook g6. Okay, there. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything just yet. Maybe I'm just going to flag him at the end of the day. Maybe that's the moral of this story. Getting our rooks out. I'm going to try to bring my king back in here now. Like, I could just keep playing this position forever. This is a very hard position for anyone to hold. Knight f6, king g5, knight e4, king f5. Yeah, he doesn't have anything here, right? Notice how I'm keeping my rooks as far away as possible. That's what makes it very hard for him to move anything. All right, we'll check. Finally, we got the win. King f8, I have this. That's checkmate. Nice. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. It's time for me to go.